Hey guys, it's Mr. Walker here, and welcome to another math lesson with Mr. Walker. Today we are doing some problem solving, and these problems I could tell you right off the bat are a little bit tricky or challenging or however you want to look at it, but to me they're a lot of fun because they're like a puzzle. You really got to figure it out and put some thought into it. It's not just looking at the first two numbers and multiplying them together or dividing them or whatever, and then you're done. There's multiple steps and there's things that we're going to have to do to ensure that we're doing it right. So we're going to jump right into this. Again, our goal for today is just to solve division word problems involving multi-digit division, unknown groups, multi-steps, all that kind of stuff. So make sure you have something to write on, something to write with. Make sure you have an open mind and that you're willing to use a variety of different strategies to try to get to our final answer. Okay, so once you have those things, go ahead and click continue, and we'll start rocking and rolling. So our first problem here is dealing with my man Lamar. And Lamar, he has 1,354 and 5/10 kilometers of potatoes to deliver in equal amounts to 18 stores. So that's a lot of potatoes he's got to deliver there. He says 12 of the stores are in the Bronx. So how many kilograms of potatoes will be delivered to stores in the Bronx? He's going to deliver this same amount to 12 of those stores. So we got a lot of stuff going on here in this problem for sure. So one of the things when I read a problem, first, I kind of like to dissect it, try to figure out some of the important information, and then I like to draw. I like to draw a picture. I need to kind of like map it out, okay? And I would highly encourage you guys to do this. I know I say it all the time, but it's extremely helpful to help you visualize what's going on. Because a lot of the times, the mistakes I see is that you guys look at a problem, you go, okay, well, I got 13.5 and 18. Let me just divide those two numbers, and then I'll be good to go. And that's not the case. There's more to it than that. So you can't always just look at the problem face value, just grab some numbers and do something. You really got to break it down, draw it out, and drawing to me is where it helps me to uncover those steps and the things that I need to do. Okay. So again, let's read this again. Lamar has 1,354 and 5/10 kilometers of potatoes. So that is probably going to be an important number. So I am going to circle it. Doesn't mean I'm going to use it right away, but I'm probably going to need to know it for something. And he's going to deliver those in equal amounts to 18 stores. 18 stores, and 12 of the stores are in the Bronx. How many kilograms of potatoes will be delivered to the stores in the Bronx? So that's my actual question, right? How many kilograms will be delivered to the stores in the Bronx? So we want to know just the stores in the Bronx, of which there are 12, right? So how can I figure out what that is? Well, I don't know what one unit of potatoes is going to be, right? An equal amount. So I don't know what an equal amount is considered, but he's got this many potatoes that he's dividing equally among these 18 stores. So if I think of it this way, of let me just start drawing some boxes here. So like if this box represents one unit, I don't know what it is, right? But I do know that he's going to have 18 of these, right? Each of the 18 stores is going to get the same amount. So if I say I have one of those, and then I do that 18 times, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me just draw this out 18 times here. All right, cool. So there's my 18 units, right? There's my 18 stores. They're all getting the same amount. I don't know what that each one of these is equal to, but I know that all together, this is going to be 1,354.5, 54 and 5/10 kilograms of potatoes. So if I were to take that total and divide it up by 18 into those 18 different units, I could find the amount of each unit. Okay, so let's go ahead and work that out. So down here, I'm going to do 1,354.5. I'm going to divide that by 18 because there's 18 stores that we're dividing it up into. I can't worry about this part of the 12 stores yet because I don't even know what one store is. So let's figure out what one store is. Then we'll come back and figure out the 12 stores. So 1,000. I only have 1,000. Can I put that into groups of 18? No, I cannot. I do have 13 hundreds. Can I put those 13 hundreds into groups of 18? No, I can't. What about if I looked at 135 tens? Can I make those into groups of 18? I don't know off the bat, but let me think of this as 20. Let me think of my 18 as 20. And 135, let's make that as 140. Times what will give me 140? 20, 40, 60, 81. 20, 40, so probably about 8 times, right? We'll say 8 times. So I'm going into 135, so 8 times, so 18 times 8. So 8 times 8 is 64. Okay, my 6. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 6 more would give me 1,444. Oh man, I was going into 135. This is way too much, so that guy's not going to work. But that's okay. No need to erase. I'm just going to cross it out. I will erase this guy though, so I don't get myself confused. It came out perfect. Okay. So if 8's too much, let's step it down to 7. We'll do 18 times 7. So 7 times 8 is 56. 6 down there, 5 over here. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 5 more is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 126. That's a lot better. So from that 135 tens, I can make 7 groups of 18. And 7 groups of 18 would give me a 126. Subtract here, and I'd be left with 9. Bring down my 1s, so that would give me 9 tens, 4 1s, which is 94. I'm going to say 5 times. 18 times 5 will actually give me 90. Subtract, and that would equal 4. I can bring my tenths down here. So now I have 45 tenths. And 18 can go in there twice. 2 times 18 is 36. Oh man, this is a lot of division right here. Subtract that out and we'll get another 9. I don't want to leave a remainder. So let's come up here. I'm going to add on to my hundredths place. Bring down that 0. Oh, and we know that it'll go in there 5 times. Perfect. And that would be 90. And we would subtract and be left with nothing. Okay. Whew. A lot of work there. But one thing I don't want to forget is to bring up my decimal. So if I take 75 and 25 hundredths, 75 and 25 hundredths, and I do that 18 times, that's going to give me my total of 1,354.5. I know that each one of these boxes is going to be 75 and 25 hundredths. Easy enough. Now, how many boxes is he going to deliver to the Bronx? 12, right? He's going to deliver 12 of those. So, I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 12, right? Which means I have to do that 75 and 25 hundredths. I have to do that 12 times to figure out how many kilograms he's going to be delivering to the store in the Bronx. So let's do that. Take my 75 and 25 hundredths. I'm going to multiply that by 12. A couple different ways I can attack this part of it if I wanted to. I could break that up into a 10 and then a 2. I could multiply 10 by 75 and 25 hundredths and then 2 by 75 and 25 hundredths. That would be using the area model, right? That'd be one way to do it. I could also use a standard algorithm, which I think I'm going to do here just for sake of time and space. So 2 times 5 is going to give me 10. Put my 1 over here. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 more is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. And 1. 2 times 7 is 14, plus 1 more is 15. Okay? Cool. I'm going to put a placeholder here because I'm moving into the tens place, so I know everything that I multiply by now, it's going to have a 0 at the end, no matter what my answer is. So 5 times 1 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 5 is 5. And 1 times 7 is 7. Now I can add these guys up. 0, 10, 3, 10, 10. 7 and 1 is 8, plus 1 more is 9. So I know it kind of got crowded there at the end, but I'm left with this number, 9, 0, 3, 0, 0. I need to figure out where to put that decimal point. 2 ways that I could look at it. The easiest way is that I have 2 numbers after the decimal point here, so I need 2 numbers after the decimal point in my answer. So my answer would be 903. kilograms of potatoes will be delivered to the Bronx. A lot of steps there. So first I had to draw it out to see what we were dealing with. I had my 18 stores and the total between those 18 stores. So then I knew I needed to divide that up to figure out what one store was, and then take that one store and multiply it by the 12 stores which he would be delivering to the Bronx, okay? A lot of steps in that one, but hopefully it makes some sense. Let's go ahead and try one more real quick. This one's a little bit different, and it's working with the area model, or not the area model, I'm sorry. It's actually just working with area. So let's take a look at that and see if we can figure this one out. This one should go hopefully a little bit faster, but this one says the area of a rectangle is 56.96 meters squared. Should be meters squared. If the length is 16 meters, what is its perimeter? All right, so let me go ahead and draw a rectangle real quick. Beautiful, right? Okay, so it's telling me that the area, the inside space, the area here is 56 and 96 hundredths, okay, meters squared. So we know the area. It is telling me that the length is 16 meters. So we know that this is 16 meters. What is the perimeter? Let's see if we can figure this out. I got a couple unknowns here, right? So I don't know what the width is. I do know that this length over here is going to be 16. So let me just fill that in just so I can kind of keep track of what I'm have going on here. Let me think about area for a second. Area, what does that make me think of? Well, I know a formula for that, right? Area is equal to what? What equals area? The length times the width, right? So if I do a length, times a width, it's going to give me the area, and we know the area is 56.96 meters squared. So think of this in terms of like an equation. I would know that 16 times something is going to give me 56.96. I just don't know what that something is. Okay, so knowing that 16 times something is going to give me 56.96, I can use division. I can work my way backwards to figure out what this missing factor is here. So let's do that. Let's do 56.96. I'm going to divide that. Sorry for my wonky division line there. Try to make that a little bit better. I'm going to divide that by 16. All right, so here we go. 5 tens. Can't put those into groups of 16, but 56 I definitely can. So 56, let's see. If I round that to 60, round this to 15, I'm going to say about 3 times. 3 times 16 will give me, let's just do that over here real quick, 16 times 3. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 more is 4, 48. I think that's as close as I'm going to get. So let's go ahead and subtract that to see what we have left over, what our remainder is. We'll subtract that out, we'd have a remainder of 8. So I'm going to bring down my tenths now. So I'd have 8 and 9 tenths, or 89 tenths. So how many groups of 16 can I make from those 89 tenths? Well, I did 3, got me to 48. So let me guess, let's almost double that. Let's go to 5. 5 times 16 is going to give me 30. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 more is 8. 80. Okay, cool. That's as close as we're going to get there. So this is 80. Subtract this out. Left with 9. Okay, we got to keep going. Now we have 96. How many times can it go? Well, let's see. I just did 5 there. So let's try 6 and see how close that gets us. 16 times 6. 16 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 3 more is 9. Woo, 96. So that's going to work out perfect. Got to bring out my decimal point here. 6 times 16, let me just write this down so we don't forget. It's 96. We subtract, there is no remainder, so that's perfect. So our missing factor is going to be 3 and 56 hundredths. So this is going to be, this side here is going to be 3 and 56 hundredths. So now that's good, but it wants us to know, it wants us to tell us, what is the perimeter? How do I find the perimeter? Right, I got to add up all of the sides, right? 16, 16, 3.56, and 3.56. So if I were to add up all of those numbers, what would the perimeter be? If I added all of those up, our perimeter would be 39 and 12 hundredths. And don't forget to put our measurement on there of meters. Okay, whew. That was another tough one, but not too bad. We had to take some guesses. We had to do some division. We had to do some multiplication. We had to do even some addition in there as well. So it was another tough one to kind of figure out. But hopefully this is starting to make sense. You guys are going to have a few more examples you're going to practice on your own. But please, as always, let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. I'd be more than happy to work through any of these with you to lend some extra help and some extra support. But I know you guys are super smart, so give it a try on your own first, and then we can talk about it afterwards if we need to. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and please let me know if you need anything else.